Okay, Steve, we are back once again rating things. This time it is the Bloomburrow Commanders. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Nice. Okay, so first we've got, as always, Prickly Perfection, and then we're going to have Bloomin' Brilliant, followed by Is It a Card? Owlful, because I tried to connect it to the creatures and I just couldn't, and then we've got Never Reprint Me. First off, we're starting with Alania. What are your thoughts on this Otter Wizard?
I think it's just typical Is It nonsense. Like, it is.
Yeah.
Whenever you cast a spell, it's a first instant sorcery or otter spell, you may have a target opponent draw a card if you do copy that spell. So I think it's okay. Like, obviously doing stuff more than once is good, but having the downside of having your opponent draw a card, which yeah, depending on what you're running. I think it's a good Storm Commander, as most Is It Commanders are. It doesn't really excite me.
But it's not the best Is It card so far, is it? Bria is much better, so I'd say Alania is somewhere in the middle. For now, it's just a card.
It is a card. Let's start bang smack in the middle and work everything around this.
It is a card. Next up, it looks like we've got Arthur. What are your thoughts?
I think Arthur is a bad Jeskai Winota.
Yes, I think that's solid. I mean, it costs 5 to cast. The fact that the creature returns to your hand at the end of the turn, or at the end of combat actually, it's not even the end of turn, I think it's pretty stinky.
I don't know, maybe there's some ETB shenanigans you can do with this. So
Maybe there is, but 5 mana to cast Commander. It does has haste, so that's something, but it's just not one that's resonated with me.
actually, the more I look at this, the more interested I am in it, because it's not just humans, like whenever it's any creature. So you could, you know, put a dockside down, tapped and attacking, then return it to your hand and then play it again. That seems pretty busted to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Arthur.
The longer you're going, the more you're liking it.
He's a cute little mouse, he's got haste, he's 4/5. Yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's Bloomin' Brilliant. It's definitely better than Alania.
It's definitely better than Alania. We'll put it Bloomin' Brilliant for now. I'm not sold, but I trust your judgment. Then we'll move on to something that definitely I think is even better than Arthur. Well, I said Arthur's not that great. So I definitely think this is better. It's Balin, bit of Naya token action.
So this card is absolutely busted, insane good.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't give the things, it doesn't give the tokens the ability to tap to do add mana, draw a card, whatever. It just tap them, so summon sickness isn't even a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
This is, I think, is hands down the best Naya tokens commander that's ever been printed.
More than Atla Palani. That makes eggs. Are you mad, Steve?
I know. But you can tap those eggs for
yeah, true.
For mana in this deck.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is the best one we've ranked so far, I reckon. I don't know, is it one of the best, maybe 2 or 3 out of the whole set? It might be.
I think it is. I think this is Prickly Perfection at the top.
Let's put it in Prickly Perfection.
This is one I'll be building, don't you worry.
I don't like that. Okay, we'll move on to another one, which I think is really good. To be fair, I really like this whole set. But we've got Bello, Bards of the Brambles. What do you think, Steve?
Bello, Barry. Yeah, this card's good. It's like any other good commander these days. It says it has haste, it draws cards, it makes things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
I also think art-wise they've tried to go as close to Rocket from Marvel as they can without infringing any sort of copyright.
Maybe this is right coming up.
Yeah, maybe. This is another one that's
Beyond.
Easily Bloomin' Brilliant. The fact it's a 3 for 3 and it gives indestructible haste. It's Bloomin' Brilliant.
This is Blooming Brilliant, I'd say. It's no Balin.
I'd say more than Arthur. I think it's
definitely.
Yeah.
I think downgrade Arthur. Like,
yeah. You're right. You were getting overhyped for it, weren't you?
Yeah. Memories of Winota being good.
Yeah. Moving on to creature number 5, we have Beza the Boundless Spring. Another one that I'm not really that fussed with. What about you, Steve?
It looks like a bunch of sunflowers turning into an elk. Is that what's right?
That's it. That's just the theme of the set. You want it to just keep entering the field, so you can either be gaining some tiny 1/1 fish, or some life, or some treasure. Yeah, I don't think it's that fun to pilot. Maybe if it's splashed in another colour, I think it'd get pretty boring to pilot.
This is a typical mono white catch-up mechanic. So You're only getting stuff if people are already ahead of you.
Yeah,
So,
and you don't want to
yeah,
be
I don't
behind
think this is
anyway.
good.
I think it's owlful. I wouldn't say never reprint it. I think that's a bit harsher. Elk that can make flowers or whatever it does.
Yeah, let's go an owlful for now.
Yeah, nice.
This
I
might be
think-
the big red horse of the last set though.
Oh, it might be the big red horse. By the end of the video, we may just have it as our favourite card ever. Okay, and moving on to one of the more hotly anticipated cards or talked about cards in the whole set, we have prowess-loving, prowess Bria.
This is really good.
I love it, and the fact it can give other creatures prowess just opens up the deck so much more than it just being you have to throw in every card that already has prowess.
I think the can't be block thing is excellent as well because you can like Voltron up Bria and kill people with commander damage. We just make an unblockable Blightsteel. That seems pretty good.
You always just go straight to Blightsteel, don't you?
Just straight.
just do this. Just go straight to Blightsteel. That's it. This is probably one of my favourite 2 or 3 from the set, so I would say this is Prickly Perfection. But I'd also go down to Blooming Brilliant. I have wiggle room. I have wiggle room.
I don't think it's Prickly Perfection, but let's put it at the bottom of Prickly Perfection
Ooh,
for now.
you prefer a bit of Bello?
Before a bit of Balin, yeah.
Well, I put it higher, you put it lower, but I can't stack them. The stack doesn't exist on tiermaker.com, so we'll have to move on.
What's next, Lewis?
Well, your big Burke. Next up is Burke, a 4/4 that costs 6 to play. I do like that it doubles counters on creatures if a creature with 1/1 counter on it attacks, but that's sort of where the line stops with me. I think it's pretty bang average.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but you can put the 2 counters on itself, so it's a 6/6 of Vigilance when it enters, and when it attacks next turn it then becomes a 10/10
Yep, and then
Vigilance.
it dies long before then to someone else at the table.
I think this isn't great. I think it's okay though.
If it had trample like your boy John Benton, it'd be a different game. Yeah.
Actually, if it had haste.
Haste or trample?
I think it is the bottom of it is a card at the moment.
I think so.
It's not exciting me.
I'm sure you could make something fun. There's so many double counting cards. It's not.
I think it goes well in a 1/1 counters deck rather than as its own deck.
Yeah. So next up we have Camellia the Seedmeister. This is that menacing one that gives other squirrels menace, and yeah, you can create more squirrels when you sack foods.
Put 1/1 counter on each other squirrel you control. That's a lot better than a squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is.
I think squirrel commanders are cool as well. Who doesn't love squirrels?
Top of it is a card, I think. Yeah, I like Camellia more than Arthur, I'd say.
I think it's pretty good. I think it has room later, that wiggle room, to go up to Blooming Brilliant. I think we're sleeping on it a bit. Before we go on to the next one, I mean, the art in this set is so cool, isn't it? Like, it's such a weird ass set, especially what they've been doing like the last few years. They're just like, oh yeah, let's just make loads of weird animals and call them hugs and shit like that.
Yeah, it's ace. Really like that.
Yeah, I really like it. But yes, going from squirrels to frogs, we have Clement the Worry Wart. Great name too. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this one?
There's definitely something busted you can do with this. I'm not sure what though.
Yeah.
And frogs you control, this is the important bit, frogs you control have tapped to add green or blue. Spend this mana to only cast a creature spell. Absolutely busted as hell.
You need a bit of thinking time to make something like this good, don't you?
Yes. However, it's interesting because it's not just Simic, draw a card, play a land.
Oh, no.
I like the design style they go with it. I don't think it's good. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. It's not owlful. I think it's just another card, isn't it? It's probably towards the end. Maybe if we did a deck tech, if we sort of figured how to make it good, it would be further up there.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's stopping it being alpha is that it's a frog.
Oh, I love frogs.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, going on to another card now that is one of my favourites so far that's spoiled, and that is the infamous Cruelclaw.
This is absolutely busted.
Yeah.
This is a great card. Not just for Commander either, in other formats.
It's absolutely insane. I think it's already valued at, I mean, we're not even at pre-release yet, but it's about a $20 card at the minute. It's really, really good. And it's a weasel.
So yeah, you turn 1, play some sort of ramp for this.
Yep.
Turn 2, you play it. Turn 3, you hit someone while they're still setting up. and out comes your Blightsteel.
Exactly. I've seen loads of people talk about playing Worldfire. You know, the one that like exiles like all your permanents, your graveyard, stuff like that, and then puts everyone on 1 life, and then just
kill everyone.
Yeah.
Like, one by one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's it really can be busted. I think it's absolutely prickly perfection.
Yeah, this is a great card. Very interesting. I like it.
Do you like it more than Naya tokens?
No, Balin's the best one in the entire set by a mile.
So moving on from some prickly perfection to, actually I won't say, I'll see what you think. We've got Flying Dragonhawk.
It costs a lot to do that stuff. Like you need to have 5 mana to play it, and then it needs to swing. It doesn't have haste, it has to stick around. Then you need the mana to play the cards you exile. And I don't think dealing 2 damage to each opponent for those cards is a better payoff than being able to play them.
And it's just too wordy.
Yeah, there's a lot of words on here that doesn't really say a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Maybe make it 1 mana cheaper or so. I don't know, there's a few things where you're like, it could be better.
Yeah, I still think it could be good. I do like Simic Frog Tribal better though, so my suggestion is bottom of it is a card.
I was going to say top of Owlful, just to fill that out a bit. It's,
okay.
Yeah,
let's put it there.
It's not sparked anything in either of us, so let's put it
It's not sparked joy.
where it deserves. Okay, so Steve, we're moving on now to some mono blue action with Eluge, the Shoreless Sea.
Yeah, I think it's okay. So you play this, and then a turn later after you attack with it, your instant sorceries cost 2 less.
Yeah.
And it pays for the blue as well, not just the generic.
Exactly. There's a fair bit to like with it.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. I think this is cool. We'll probably build clones or something around this. I think this is, I wouldn't say it's blooming brilliant. I don't like it as much as I like Arthur.
No,
Arthur's smack bang in the middle of it as a card.
Arthur's a good measuring stick for you, isn't it? Steve, this is one that may be one of the worst of the set. Cool name, cool art, but we're talking Finneas, Ace Archer. The one where you have to have loads of creatures of power 10 just to draw a single card.
This is a bad commander.
It's going to be one that's going to take so long to get going, because if you're making tokens, especially in Selesnya, they're going to be really weak. So you're probably going to just have an army of 1/1s that you're making 2/2s. You're going to be working so much slower than anyone else at the table. I think this
is the worst one.
I think this is never reprint me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Finneas. Cool name, cool art, but you're a dud. Going on to maybe my favourite art in the whole of this video. It's so almost bad it's good. We've got Flubs the Fool.
Again, like a lot of the commanders in this set, it's a very interesting commander. This definitely has potential to be some sort of busted storm commander. I think I would enjoy playing against this and with this. I like this.
I just don't like the discarding a card, being rewarded for having no cards in hand. I think that might be not the easiest thing to do. I don't know. It's not the best.
Because you're a fool.
It's not the best though. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's not blooming brilliant. I really don't think it's brilliant. Maybe,
I think this top of it is a card. I think you're underestimating it.
I might be, but I've not seen. Let me watch a deck or two, maybe even try and make a deck. Okay, moving on, Steve. I can't believe we've gone this long in a rankings video talking about commanders without there being a ward-loving creature. We've got Gev. What are your thoughts on Gev?
I think Gev is one of the best commanders in the set by far. 2 mana 3/2, has ward, pay 2 life.
And
so this reminds me of Bello, Corrupted Observer.
Yep.
We'll go to your second main and have 2 colours for each opponent who lost life. So you play your little fingers that do 1 damage to each opponent or something like that, and then play a spell like Krenko's Command or something that makes 2 1/1s.
Yeah.
But it was 4/4s. That's really good.
It's so easy to do it in Rakdos as well. That is like stuff that Rakdos loves to see. Yeah, it's great. I really like it. I'd definitely say it's like top of blooming brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Top of blooming brilliant.
Let's do it.
Great card.
Okay.
Love a bit of Gev.
So now we're going to be making some weird noises as we talk about Glarb. Glarb's cool. Glarb's cool.
Start off with it's a frog, so it's automatically up to it as a card.
Oh, it's at least it's a card. It's also a wizard.
Yeah, base it's 2/4 with Death Touch, good. Like people don't want to really swing into your Death Touchy commander. Surveil 2, so you can look at the top of your library and see if there's a land or mana value 4 or greater. If not, put them in your graveyard. Yeah, this is good. I like Glarb. Glarb good.
Yeah, Glarb is good. Glarb is Blooming Brilliant. Maybe a bit further down. It's oh wait, what am I doing? I said Gev is at the top of Blooming Brilliant. Yeah, it's whereabouts you reckon it should go on Blooming Brilliant. Maybe in between Bello and Bria.
Yeah, I reckon so.
I do really like Bello, and that's not just because that's how we always start a call.
Are you Team Glarb or Team Flubs?
Oh, I think I'm Team Glarbs.
Team Glarb.
Team Glarbs.
Team Flubs.
Shall we have a Glarb versus Flubs match one day?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Okay, we're having some Golgari action now, and we're talking Hazel of the Root Bloom. Are you a Golgari Squirrel fan, Steve?
Golgari Squirrels are good. Chatterfang is very, very good commander.
Yeah.
One of those things that I feel like is too good. If you turn up at a table, people are going to target you. I don't think Hazel is as good as Chatterfang. However, it has like the Jahira text of tapping tokens to make mana. So this is going to be a huge mana deck, I think. And it makes more tokens, which you can then use for more mana. I think this is a really, really good commander. It's probably why it's in the precons.
Yeah, I really like it. It's so easy, especially in squirrels, to make loads of squirrels, make loads of tokens as well. Squirrels seem to love tokens. I think it's going to be one way you can have so much synergy, make more tokens, things like Second Harvest, or you got tokens for days. I think it's another one that's blooming brilliant.
Yeah, because it's one of the precons, I don't think it's as interesting as the others. So.
Should we put it down at the bottom of Blooming Brilliant and just punish it for being a dirty little precon? Hazel, you try hard, just like you, Steve.
Blood.
So next on up we have yet another frog, so it's going to go way up there, Steve. We've got Helga, Skittish Seer, +1/+1 counter living frog. What are your thoughts?
I think this card is absolutely busted.
Yeah.
You know, it says you draw cards, you gain life, you put counters on it, and you tap it to make mana. Like, what more do you want from a commander?
Yeah.
It's incredible. This is like Tulane levels of busted.
I mean, there's so many cards as well, like Garruk's Uprising, like that's already gaining whenever power 4 creatures enter the battlefield.
Yeah, this is really good. This is going to be a really, really popular commander. Everyone likes swinging in with big creatures and drawing cards and adding mana.
I like the variety that it's not just creatures of 4, it's X value as well.
X spells as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hydras.
I think we're on a good tear of cards here. I think it's another one that is maybe towards the top end of Blooming Brilliant.
I like it more than Bello, to be honest.
Do you? Ooh, but do you like it?
But...
Well, I think, as I said, top of Blooming Brilliant, it's got its place then, don't we? Okay, Steve, I've noticed we're probably about halfway through the video and you look quite sad. Would you like a hugs?
Yes, my Grizzly Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think of hugs? It's got a lot to like. I'm not a massive fan of having a commander that could be that expensive to cast, but
it's as expensive as you want it to be. So at worst, you pay X is 0 and you've got a 5/5 trampler for 4.
Yeah.
And then you play additional lands on each of your turns. Cool. And then if it dies later on, like all the additional lands that you play, you pump that mana into it to, you know, refill your hand or exile, and it's until your next turn. Yeah, this is good. This is a good commander. I like Hugs, and I like Hugs the Grizzly Guardian, and maybe I want to give him a hug.
I like the art as well. He's given someone a very close hug, maybe hug too hard. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it'd be sort of maybe top of Is It a Card?
I like it more than I like Hazel the Squirrel Lady.
You'd put it.
Should we meet in the middle and put it in Blooming Brilliant at the bottom?
That is meeting in the middle to a T. Next, we're going to go on some Bird Tribal with Castral at the Wind Crested. What are your thoughts, Steve?
This is a okay card. I think it might be stronger than it looks, though.
Maybe. I can't really think of, because I know it's sort of more like Bird Tribal. I'm suddenly not being able to think of any big birds except for Big Bird, and that's not MTG.
You don't want big birds, you want little birds, because you can pump them with a 1/1 counter for each bird you control. That's good. But if this is one or more opponents, so like if you use your flyers, you swing at 3 different people, you can then put 3 birds onto the battlefield, or put 3 1/1 counters on each bird you have, or draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
I think this is better than it looks. I don't like it as much as I like Arthur, though.
I'd put it maybe towards the bottom of It Is a Card.
It's better than Burke.
It's better than Burke. Oh, let's put it.
It's more More interesting than Alania, I'd say.
Let's put it there. We like Eluge. We like our big blue boy.
Yeah.
Okay, on to some more prowess action. We have Kitsa Otterball Elite, one of the better arts in the whole set, which, I mean, as we said, is amazing, but I love that it's like a otter doing a Kamehameha.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on Kitsa?
I think this is good. I don't think it's as good as Bria.
No,
as Pal.
it's not.
But you can swing in with it, and then tap it to draw a card and discard a card. Cool. Or swing in with it, and then copy a spell. And, you know, it's not busted. It's got restrictions on you have to have power 3 or greater.
Yeah.
So,
but
I like this.
Having a card that revolves around tapping to get it to do stuff and it having vigilance is just perfect.
Yeah, really cool. I'm going to say stick it directly next to Bria.
Okay, like Bria's worse but younger sibling.
Yeah.
Wait, was Bria an otter as well? Is it otter? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
They're both otters.
Otters just love prowessing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
And moving on to one we know quite well already. We played against one the other day. It's Lumbra, Bello of the Woods. The mono green power toughness to lands, normal mono green shenanigans.
With its power and toughness being equal to the number of lands you control, you think at the very least it's a 6/6 with vigilance and reach. That then gets you more lands. So I think, you know, when you actually play this, when it ETBs and you mill those 4 cards and return them back, you're probably looking like an 8/8 or something like that.
Yeah,
the bare minimum.
It's ridiculous. If it was just return a land, it would be different. The longer the game goes and the more you can potentially dump into your graveyard, it can be a big beast.
Yeah, and you can get your your Evolving Wilds and Terra Rocket Expanse style cards and the ones from the Streets of New Capenna. So as soon as they come in, you then put them back in the graveyard, bring them back. Yeah, this is good. Lumbra is good.
Well, yeah, because
it's interesting.
Things like Harrow and Royal and Regrowth, all them sort of sack lands to get more lands, just work wonders in a deck like this. It's
no Arthur though.
It's no Arthur. Shall we move Arthur up? I feel like Arthur needs to be in the middle of the measuring stick, and I feel like the middle of the measuring stick is like the top of It's a Card.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, and then you want to put Lumbra just below that?
I reckon so, yeah.
Yeah. Better than MC.
Below Flubs.
Better than MC Flubs. And,
no, below Flubs.
Oh, I think above Flubs. And you know what? I'm going to leave it there because I say so. I don't know, I'm sorry. Next, though, is Mabel, Heir to Cragflame, which is the mouse commander that gives other mice +1/+1. What are your thoughts?
This card is terrible.
It's a cute little mouse.
Yeah, and it's absolutely horrifically bad.
Yeah,
this is better than Finneas, but not by much.
All right, let's not waste any time on it. Let's do that and go straight on to Maha. Maha, which is one that I really like. I know I say I don't like the expensive commanders, but this is a 5-mana commander that I really don't mind. Creatures your opponents control have toughness 1.
Yeah, it's good.
It's different. Like, not a lot to say about it.
You worm down the next turn.
Yeah, you slap any sort of cards that give your creatures -1, -1, -2, -2. They're done. I just think it's really different. I think I'm really biased. I'll put it maybe at the bottom of Prickly Perfection, but that's just because I really like it.
Whoa. Hey now.
Shall we put it in Blooming Brilliant?
Yes.
Maybe in between Bello and Glarb?
Yeah, that sounds like about right to me.
It's one I really like, and Maha.
It's very unique. You haven't really seen many of these effects.
And I feel like saying Maha at the end of something that's really funny instead of haha is something that could catch on and be really funny. Okay, next on up we have the first of the Mr. and Ms. We have Mr. Foxglove, and that's the life-linking fox.
I feel like there's a lot of words on the card.
There's a lot of words,
which puts me off.
That's not always a huge problem. It does put me off. Like, it put me off Beza. Thing is this is too many words and maths. I can't be asked to figure out what's in my hand plus my opponent's. It's cool, again, it is different, but no, it's not for me.
Not for me. I think I like the bird one more than this.
Yeah? Should we put it in the middle of Owlful? Which feels weird to say, because effectively you could be getting a big creature out for free, right? Is the way it's worded, you can just put it on the field? I think it is.
It is, yeah.
But it's still not got enough to love about it besides that, I think.
No, it's wearing a stupid hat as well.
Too many words, too much math. It's another rip-off of Fantastic Mr. Fox, clearly. Let's just move on to Ms. Bumbleflower. Vigilant Rabbit that says whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card, put 1/1 counter on target creature against flying into the end of turn. If this is the second time this is resolved this turn, you draw 2 cards. So
this is obviously the face commander of the precon, which means it's probably good, but I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of this. There's too many things to remember, and we are just but simple Magic players.
Whenever you cast the spell, target opponent draws a card. And the second one is if this is the second time this ability is resolved, you draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
So if you cast more than 2 cards in a turn, you're just putting your opponents up. I don't like this.
Shall we put it with Mr. Foxglove?
I like Mr. Foxglove more than Mrs. Bumbleflower. It's not a sentence I ever thought I'd say.
Yeah, no, that is a weird sentence. Okay, next we're going on to one that I'm not sure how to pronounce right. We have Moira, Trash Tactician. What do you think, Steve? Moira. I don't mind Gruul.
This is trash.
I quite like Gruul, but I don't like this commander. You can exile 2 cards a lot cheaper than spending 8 mana. I
think that's okay, because you're playing your spells, you're doing things, and then similar to Hugs earlier, you're almost refilling your hand again. But
I don't know how many raccoons there are in Magic. For me, this is either bottom of it's a card or it's Owlful.
I think it's better than you think it is. I don't like it as much as I like Clement. So bottom of it is a card.
Then I think it is exactly as good as I think it is. If that makes that didn't really make much sense, does it? Right, Steve. Next on up, have you heard of the Odd Acorn Gang?
The Odd Acorn Gang?
Yeah. Have you heard of them? Are you a fan?
I've not heard of them. I feel like if I had heard of them, then I should be scared.
But Menace, Trample, Reach. Yeah, I think it's quite a cool commander. Again, squirrels, anything like that, I think are pretty cool.
5/5, 4/5. You can pump squirrels and give them trample. When squirrels deal damage, draw cards. Yeah, this is good.
Squirrel Tribal. You've already got things like Squirrel Sovereign, which I think is a card that gives them +1/+1. These squirrels are going to get big. I'm a fan. I think it's Blooming Brilliant.
Oh no.
No? Oh.
If you think it's Blooming Brilliant,
mate,
then we're going to have to move Arthur up.
There's a gang of them. There's 3 squirrels. They've got Menace, Trample, and Reach.
If you think this is better than Arthur, you're sorely mistaken.
I think it is better than Arthur. I think you
my god.
I think you just really like Arthur.
Yeah, it's the first thing I've seen this set, and I've just clung on to it, haven't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you have this one. We'll see. Might come swinging at the end.
Bottom of Blooming Brilliant. Well, I mean, Arthur was a 4/5, right? And this is a 5/5. So right there, Arthur's beat. So Steve, we're moving on to one close to your heart. Vren the Relentless.
Yes, I'm a rat man.
That is
not for another 7 years. But
that's the joke.
Rat boy until then. Vren's cool. Like pseudo graveyard hate, as in an opponent creature opponent controls style, exile it. So they'll be bringing those back.
I
you
mean,
can potentially board wipe, then play this, and then get loads of massive rats.
Your first ever commander was Marinora, right? So just throw that straight.
Indeed.
Throw that straight in there, and we've got a new Rat King.
So when this was spoiled, I was like, oh my god, this is like the best day of my life. I need to build this. So I think Prickly Perfection. However,
I think
something else was also spoiled, and made me say, okay, this goes in that deck rather than I build Vren.
Let's put it at the top of Blooming Brilliant.
Yes,
there's a lot more in this second tier than there was the last other 2 ranking videos. So I think this shows like this is a pretty damn good set, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
So we'll go from one rat straight to, I guess, the rat you were hinting on a second ago with Wick, the Horned Mind.
Wick is the commander I've been dreaming about for 7 years. Grixis rats. We had
that's all you ever wanted
originally, and then I pivoted to Totem Tans when Wilds of Eldraine came out. And I saw Vren spoiled, and I was like, I can't have 2 rat decks, and now I can put them both in this. This is perfect. And
then in a couple more years, you can move over to a 4/1. Maybe there'll be like a Witchmore. Maybe they'll splash white in.
And eventually 5-colour rat deck.
Omnath the Ratty. This is
great because you keep like pooping out loads of rats,
Yeah.
And then you sacrifice your big snail, hit everyone, draw more rats, and just keep going. Right, this is great.
Let's put it right in prickly perfection then. But where are you wanting to put it?
It's no Balin. I love it. It's not as good as Balin.
In the middle?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And on from one that is great to one that is the opposite of great, we have Wild Bear scoring more. 6/6 for 5, but it's just trample that give enchantment spells cascade. I'm sure there's a group of people that love it, but it's just not exciting. It's just...
Brawl enchantments isn't really a thing. It was the Precon a couple of years ago. Shishiro, is it?
Yep. Yeah, the modification one.
That tried to do it a little bit. And then the Stang, the Echo Warrior, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this isn't doing it for me.
Put it in
bottom of Owlful.
Owlful, yeah. Yeah. Shall we put Beza into Never Reprint Me?
Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
It tried. It really tried, but no. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of Golgari, or a lot of green and black love in this set, at least anyway. Next we've got Igra, Eater of All. Food-loving elemental cat.
I think this is great. 5 mana 6/6 has ward, obviously. Ward being sacrifice food. However, it gives you the foods to sacrifice, which is cool.
Yeah.
But if you sacrifice your foods, then you're putting counters on it. So.
Oh my god, you could basically just throw the cat into the deck, can't you?
Yeah, put the cat in this oven.
Yeah.
And just keep going.
I really like it. It's
a good card. I think I like this more than Arthur.
Oh my god, it's got to go into Blooming Brilliant then. I think I like it more than Hugs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's put it up there then. I like it more than Hazel. I like it more than... Oh.
Just keep putting it up, mate.
Let's keep going. I feel like the line is... Oh, no, I do like Maha. Should we put it there? Glarb is the new line. Right, we're on to the penultimate creature, Steve. This time we have Zinnia, the bird bard. What's your thought on the bird bard?
The art terrifies me, to be honest. This is the nice stuff of nightmares.
To be fair, this and the next one, the art's pretty spooky. Yeah. It's another one where I'm sure it's a good creature, but it's not resonated with me in the slightest. What do you think?
I think this is another one that is very strong, but doesn't look like it's strong. You're getting multiple ETBs off cards that don't normally have ways of copying them. The offspring thing is good.
It's a pre-con commander, isn't it? So it's got to look not too intimidating, but also definitely got a chance to be busted. It's just not for me. It's the definition of a card for me.
I'm pretty sure they're in the same deck. I think it's better than Arthur.
You know what? Arthur's gone from hero to villain since I've moved him up.
Yeah.
You think it's better? Should we put it just above? It's not brilliant.
Still in it as a card, yeah.
There you go, Arthur, get down. Okay, and on to the last one. We have Zoraline. What are your thoughts on Zoraline, Steve?
This is good. I like this. It's not busted.
I love life gain. I quite like bats. So life gainy bats. I think it's pretty good. It's, again, just like loads of cards in this set. I feel like it's somewhere around the Blooming Brilliant, it's a card sort of line.
I like it more than Zinnia. It's not as strong as Zinnia, but I like it more.
Yeah.
I want to put it above Zinnia.
Okay, let's do it. There you go. Before we wrap up, is there anything you think we should change? I'm suddenly thinking we should put Arthur a bit lower. I think you just rode the Arthur train a bit too early because it's the first creature out.
Yeah, maybe. Lumbra's definitely stronger. Flubs is definitely more interesting.
That's just...
Yeah, just move down a couple, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Flubs. I think it's, as per usual, I think we've smashed it. I think it's looking pretty bang on. Let us know in the comments how well we did. Feel free to say that we're the best rankers ever. Nothing else. We're top rankers. And yeah, let us know what you want us to rank next. I mean, I'm sure it will only be a month or so till the next set's out, so we'll get on that. Steve, you got anything else to say?
Bye!